Lots of highlights on this week's Inside League Basketball as the Flames and Lady Flames are in the middle of Gulf South Conference action. We also sit down with coaches Marty Rowe and Tommy Brown to discuss adapting to the new schedule. That and much more coming up next. Welcome to the 2013-2014 edition of Inside Lee University Basketball. I'm your host, Jeff Salyer. This season marks some exciting milestones for Lee University. This is the first season that the Flames and Lady Flames are competing with a Division II schedule as a member of the Gulf South Conference. We've also changed the show up some. As you may have noticed, Coach Rowe and Coach Brown aren't in the studio with me. This year, we'll capture their thoughts and comments in a post-game press conference following each game. We'll spend more time bringing you features, talking to players, coaches, and highlighting the Flames athletic department. We'll start the highlights with Coach Rowe's Lady Flames, who took their conference record of 2-0 and 6-2 overall record to their first meeting with the University of North Alabama. The Lady Flames made their first trip to Florence and UNA, but this trip won't be one that Coach Rowe's squad will remember fondly. Throughout most of the game, Lee had control, eventually extending a lead to 20 points in the second half. Early in the game, UNA focused on keeping leading scorer Hollie German from getting near the basket, and so other Flames had to step up, led by Carly Miller, who scored 9 points on her way to scoring 12. It wasn't until 3:30 in the first half before Hollie German made a basket on her way to scoring 33 points, leading all scorers in the game. And this is the highlight where Hollie scores the first one. She rails off 9 points in a row to close out the first half and to give the Flames a lead. Eventually, that lead would extend to 20, but UNA would go on a 23-5 run and take the lead with 13.4 seconds left. Which forced the game into overtime. Hollie German makes the three-pointer there. I messed up. Carly Miller makes the three-pointer there, but UNA would not go away, knocking down the three from long distance there to take the lead on the Lady Flames. Eventually, they would go back and forth until Hollie German would come across, make this layup right here to send the game to overtime, where UNA just kind of took over in overtime and ended up winning the game. Lauren Ferris had 27 points for the Lady Lions. She scores the 4 right there in overtime to seal the deal for North Alabama. The score being UNA 82 and Lee 77. Hollie German led the Lady Flames with 33 points, going 12 of 20 from the field and 4 of 8 from the three-point line. Carly Miller with 19 points and 3 rebounds. And like I mentioned, Laura Ferris had 27 points and 3 assists for the win for UNA. After the game, we talked to Coach Marty Rowe about his thoughts on the loss.
You know, the loss is tough. You know, that's what we just talked about. Obviously, the outcome is a byproduct of how we played down the stretch. I mean, they played a lot better than we did. You know, too many free throw box outs, problem. You know, they just attack the glass, and we give up 10 offensive rebounds. We get careless with the basketball. And that's what happens on the road in this conference. We're going to find that out, that nobody's going to give up. Nobody's going to quit. You know, you're going to have to play 40 complete minutes, and we didn't do that tonight. And so it's disappointing to lose the game. It's disappointing how we lost the game, though. I mean, I think we pride ourselves in certain things, and, you know, when we get in so much foul trouble, again, we just talked about it again, and we have to rely on some people that are not used to playing in those roles. They've got to pride themselves and do the same thing that our, you know, our starters or our main rotation does, and, you know, we didn't do that down the stretch today.
Similar to the early season success of the Lady Flames, Coach Tommy Brown's Flames took a 2-0 Gulf South record and a 6-2 overall record to the University of North Alabama for their first time. This was a very physical game where free throws and missed layups spelled defeat for the Flames. Valentino Thomas and Corey Billingsley led the Flames scoring attack as Thomas scored 20 points and Billingsley 22. With 17 minutes left in the game, the Flames held an 11-point lead, but the persistent Lions kept battling back. Despite the physical nature of the game, the Flames only got to the line 11 times, converting just 6, while North Alabama converted 29 of 39 free throws. The Flames shot 38% from the field for the game, while UNA shot 40%. The outsized Flames were out-rebounded by 10 rebounds, but only turned the ball over 10 times during the game, which is a very good mark for this Flames basketball team. One thing the Flames do, they move the ball very well around the arc. You see Chad Lee hitting the three there. Once again, we come back to Chad Lee, who misses it, but the putback by Valentino Thomas. Corey Billingsley makes a nice move around the defender and puts in the basket. The Flames are really slashing this year. They've been shooting earlier like that from Corey Billingsley, but they get around Coach Rowe, Coach Brown, imploring his team to make offensive passes and find the open man. Billingsley again with a nice move inside with the spin. Corey kind of took this game over in the second half. But UNA kept battling on the boards. You see a lot of offensive highlights from the Flames here. But UNA keeps tightening up the game and eventually takes the lead on the Flames and beats them 76-69. As I mentioned, Corey Billingsley with 24 points and 4 rebounds, while Valentino Thomas scored 22 points and 7 rebounds. For the Lions, Rashawn Claiborne had 20 points and 13 rebounds. After the game, Coach Tommy Brown talked to George Starr on the radio, and we were there to capture his comments about this game.
You know, we just let it slip away there. We just missed so many bunnies, as you call them, just right around the rim. I thought we played hard. I thought we battled. We gave up some offensive rebounds. But we were undersized. They're bigger and more athletic than we are. So.
Not the way the Flames and Lady Flames wanted to start the road trip, dropping both games to the University of North Alabama. When we come back, we're going to sit down with coaches Tommy Brown and Marty Rowe in our Center Court feature to talk about this transition to the Gulf South Conference in NCAA Division II. Stay with us.
I'm Ken Jones, inviting you to visit the all-new SpeakingDeacon.com, where you'll find everything you're looking for. Browse over 1,000 vehicles, including 12 new car brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. Apply for financing, get a value for your trade-in, schedule a service appointment, download monthly service coupons, and find the Deacon Jones store nearest you. It's all right here at SpeakingDeacon.com.
Speaking Deacon, Speaking Deacon.
Are you Speaking Deacon?
He never did tell me we might be alone.
How did she always make it look so easy?
Sometimes you just need someone to talk to. We offer support groups to help with grieving or just talking and sharing. These support groups are another of our commitments to you.
At Jim Rush Funeral Homes, we believe life is worth remembering with compassion and respect. We will continue this tradition that has set us apart for so many years. Jim Rush Funeral Homes, it's all about life. North Ocoee and Wildwood Chapels.
Zaxby's, indescribably good.
Welcome back to Inside League Basketball. Coming off very successful seasons in their final year of the NAIA competition, coaches Rowe and Brown had challenges unique to each program. The Lady Flames returned the core of the team that advanced to the NAIA National Championship game a season ago, while Coach Brown had to replace numerous key players that led his team to a 30-win season. I sat down with both coaches this week to discuss the season, the challenges of a new conference, and their goals for this year's teams. That's this week's Center Court.
Well, there's certainly a lot of good. Marty's a friend. I've learned a ton from him.
The only negative is his teams are so good, I feel like we're held accountable for how good they are. That's the only negative of having Coach Rowe as the women's coach here at Lee University. But it's been easy to work with. I've been here, this is my 9th and Marty's 10th, hard to believe, and we've watched each other's families grow, and now he has a grandson, and my kids are getting close to college, so it's been that
first of all, that's scary. That
yeah,
you got a kid close to it.
I have a kid close to yeah, it is scary. And
no, it's good. I mean, Jeff, it's it's one of these things where if you respect people that you work with, and see, I enjoy watching them practice, and that's a big key. When I came here from Brescia, my best friend, the guy that I learned a lot from in coaching, was the men's coach, and that's kind of what I did. I continued to watch them practice, and it's nice being able to watch somebody else work that you respect what they do, and you can pick up things, and you see things that maybe they're doing just a little bit different than you got the same ideas, and I think our girls enjoy it too. Our girls like to watch them practice, and they pick up things, and they respect what Coach Brown and his staff does. So it's good.
Similar philosophies too, so not everything's the same, but very similar, which helps helps me as well. For example, I saw a drill he was doing yesterday, and I was going to ask him about it and put it in. So that's definitely been helpful.
Our teams are so different this year. We're a senior laden, junior laden team. He's got young guys, which has been I know different for him. But with us, it's just trying to get used to the mental grind of the league. I think that's the biggest key that people in our league continue to tell me, that the mental and physical grind of the season, because everybody is pretty good. There's not a bad team in our league on the men's side or the women's side. And so just trying to get used to that, trying to get used to the 40-minute mentality, whereas we could, with our other league, maybe the bottom 3 or 4 teams, we always prepared the same way, but, our team, coaching staff, we're only human. You're going to know when you can walk out there and beat somebody. Now we are starting to understand we can't do that. So, from that change, we're looking forward to it. It's definitely going to be tough on the road, and we'll see coming up here pretty soon how we handle that.
We do have different teams. He has some great senior leadership, and we're very young. We play 3-4 freshmen at times, so it is different. But certainly there's a lot of new challenges and new people, that we're meeting and playing these new teams. But for us, we're just taking it a game at a time. We did a good job at home. We've done a good job at home. So, another big difference is he was saying that, at times they had a definite talent advantage in the southern states, and we were the same way, but it's certainly not that way anymore. And, we were one of the top teams talent-wise, 2 or 3 every year. Now, we may be middle of the pack at best, and I haven't seen everybody, and that's at best. So when you don't have the talent advantage, you have far less room for, far less margin for error. So, we've got to execute and do all the little things better to give ourselves a chance.
I think that, I don't know what you think, but I think that bodes well for how we both play, because we both don't make a whole lot of changes from game to game. Neither team does. We always try to be solid on both ends of the court, and kind of, like you said, do little things. So I think it's going to bode pretty well once we get in this league, because again, we do most of our changes and things, most of our the things that we're trying to prepare for in practice a day or two before.
And now it's time for the Gulf South Minute. In this segment, we'll take a look at the Gulf South basketball standings for both the men's and women's teams. This year, Lee, Union University, and Shorter University are not able to play in the conference or NCAA tournaments because they're still in the transitional period, moving from NAI to the NCAA. However, the games with these schools count in the conference standings. So first, we'll take a look at the ladies' standings. With Delta State, the number 11 team in the country, leading the conference at 5-0 and 10-1 overall, followed by Union and Valdosta and Lee, all with 3-1 Gulf South records. Christian Brothers, West Florida, North Alabama, Alabama Huntsville, Shorter, West Alabama, and West Georgia following up. For the men, they're led also by Delta State with a 4-1 record and 11-2 overall, followed by Valdosta State with a 3-1 and 9-1 overall, West Georgia, West Alabama with 3-2 records, North Alabama, Lee, Union with 2-2, followed by Christian Brothers, Alabama Huntsville, West Florida, and Shorter. In this week's player profile, we're going to look at senior guard Hollie German. She's one of the best players to ever don the Lady Flames jersey, and last year, Hollie was honored as an NAI First-Team All-American. This season, she's averaging 26 points, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds per game. And along with her on-the-court accolades, Hollie has worked equally hard in the classroom. The math education major has a GPA of 3.9. We sat down with Hollie while we were on the road this week to discuss how she balances excellence in the classroom and excellence on the court.
Just coming off the success from last year, it's great that we did it, and it gives us momentum going into it, but we know that it's going to be totally different as far as the teams that we play and the amounts of competition that we face. But I think a lot of the times right now we're using that momentum and the experience and the close situations that we were in to kind of help us as we've moved into this new schedule that's a lot more difficult and closer games all the time, and that we're going to have to play well every game. And I think that that's going to help us, especially on down the road when we're used to playing all these close games, that we won't get caught up in the moment and we won't panic, and we will just play the way that we've worked on the whole year, that we'll do the things that we know how and hope for the best. Not necessarily that my role's changed, it's just my teammates have gotten me open a lot more. I know that we've also changed the role for Jenna a little bit more. She's had to pick it up as well, but just in preparation for the games, I just focus on mainly making my free throws, not turning the ball over, and just putting the team in a position to win. It's a lot of just planning and making sure that I'm making enough time to study and at the same time to focus on, whether it's in the classroom or what I've got to do on the floor. And I've got to be very organized. I've organized myself almost to the T in the fact that I've scheduled when I'm going to study, what time practices are, and I've just set aside time specifically for my schoolwork.
Stop hunting. Start finding. Choose the AT&T Real Yellow Pages to find just what you need. No other book has more complete ads and up-to-date listings.
Fazoli's is the most family-friendly Italian restaurant in town. All the fresh and flavorful meals are served right at your table on real dishes with real silverware instead of foam or plastic. Enjoy a clean, contemporary dining room and the excellent service you would normally expect from an expensive sit-down restaurant. For less than the price of a burger and fries, you can get a delicious hot meal like baked spaghetti, pizza, and all the breadsticks you can eat. It's fast, fresh Italian. It's Fazoli's.
At Sky Ridge Medical Center, we believe every moment is important. That's why, whatever you encounter on the road of life, Sky Ridge Medical Center will be there for you and your family. You can count on our experienced, dedicated staff to provide quality health care and the advanced medical technology you need, so you don't miss one special moment. Sky Ridge Medical Center, your hospital for a lifetime.
In the second game of the week, the Flames and Lady Flames took on a very familiar foe from the old Trans-South Conference days of the NAI. In fact, for the Lady Flames, Jackson became like a second home when the NAI National Tournament was hosted there. Union's Lady Bulldogs has had great success in their first season of GSC play after previously winning several NAI National Championships. This was one of the more exciting games of the season as we expected. Coach Mark Campbell from Union, Coach Marty Rowe have very similar styles, recruit similar type players on their teams, and have had a really nice rivalry over the last several years as they go back, and Lee has gone to Jackson and Union has come to Cleveland in non-conference play while they were in NAIA. They're excited about playing each other again in conference, so at least 2 times a year we'll see each other. As Union is just a great shooting team, but here we see a little inside play. It's back and forth the entire game. Lady Flames shot well as Union shooting well. There's Hollie German with the deep 3. German kind of took over this game as well. Kayla Beavers knocks down the 3, getting some early playing time for the young player for Coach Rowe's team. Jenna Adams with the and 1. Jenna was on fire in this game and eventually hit the game-winning shot. But throughout the game, it was back and forth. Many lead changes. Felt like a national tournament kind of game. Mariah Isles with the big block there. Hollie German doing what she does, and there's Rachel Lockhart with a nice drive. Jenna Adams just does that nice little crossover move with the pull-up jumper. After talking to both Coach Campbell and Coach Rowe before the game, I think both of the coaches were excited to play the game as much as the players. Whenever you get 2 good teams like this that are familiar with each other, you're bound to get some exciting basketball. And I kind of figured it would come down to a last-second shot. As we see here, Union takes the lead, and Jenna Adams is going to take it to the basket with about 12 seconds to go. Misses the shot, but Carly Miller with the rebound, and then she misses a shot, and then Jenna gets the rebound herself, puts it in and 1. And that gives the Lady Flames a 2-point lead. And here's a chance for Union to tie or take the lead with 3 seconds left. And the shot comes late, doesn't go in anyway. And both coaches congratulate each other at center court as the Lady Flames take a tough win on the road, 68-66 over Union University. Jenna Adams leads the Lady Flames with 21 points and 11 rebounds, so a double-double for Jenna. Hollie German with 16 points. She was 5 of 9 from the field. Astrid Hudeman from Union scored 18 points, going to 6 of 13 from the 3-point line, as Union is a very good 3-point shooting team.
Well, we all came together and we all kind of stepped up and did what we had to do. I think the last game we struggled finishing, and so we proved in this game that we can finish. We can finish on the road, and Union's always a big game for us. We respect their coach, we respect their program, so it was just a really big win.
Tonight's game, we talked about in the locker room before. I think it's a really important game, obviously, to set the tone for the rest of the year. Us letting that game get away on Saturday, really doesn't matter today. When we have a chance to send a message a little bit to the league to say, listen, we're resilient and we're willing to bounce back no matter what the situation is. So,
following this game, the men also took on Union, which is another old rivalry from Trans-South days. I can remember those times when they would be battling for the conference championship every year. This game was also back and forth with the Flames extending a lead late they just couldn't manage to hold on to. Coach Tommy Brown's young team still trying to figure out how to win late in these games. Each game you can see the maturity level rising in them as they do play hard, and it's an interesting style that Coach Brown has this year. As he mentioned earlier in our interview, they have to slow it down a little bit because of being undersized and not as skilled as some of the teams they play against. In this game, they did slow it down in the second half, and eventually Union just kept chipping away. Stedman Ford just comes up. If you don't put a hand in Stedman's face, he will shoot that little 15-foot jumper from the elbow. Well, Union drove to the paint, and Lee just didn't have an answer for stopping them driving the paint, especially in the last 5 minutes of the game. Here, still in the first half, as Taquan Roberts gets to the middle and puts up the shot. And Lee was driving early like this too. Not as many three-pointers taken in this game early, especially. He had shots like that with the nice pass to Corey Billingsley, the little alley-oop layup. Another drive from Valentino Thomas as he goes reverse layup to score the basket. Now we get to Chad Lee, who hit a couple of threes in a row to extend the Lee lead. to about 13 points. And Stedman Ford hitting a three in the corner. So Lee got hot from outside, but then eventually Union just kept driving and chipping away. And there just wasn't an answer defensively for the Flames on this night. The Union gets the and one to take the lead here at the end of the game. Flames had a chance late to try to cut it. Shoot the three, it's no good. And Union takes the win from the Flames on the road, 69-66. Billingsley leads the Flames, the only Flame in double figures, with 12 points and 5 rebounds. And Ashanti Day from Union, the Bulldog, had 17 points and 10 rebounds for a double-double for Union. After the game, we caught up with Coach Tommy Brown to talk about the tough loss on the road.
Well, we let it slip away. We stopped guarding in the last 5 minutes, and I don't remember us getting a defensive stop in the last 5 minutes. I mean, that was obviously what happened, and it's frustrating. I thought we played 35 good minutes, and to come on the road, and what wins games down the stretch is defensive stops, and we didn't come close to getting one. We didn't follow the scouting report several times on some things, and give them credit. They made a lot of good plays, and so it's a very, very tough pill to swallow. It's a grind, and you just got to look at the next game and go forward. Get home about 5 in the morning and got to turn around and try to prepare for a good team, very good team coming in Thursday.
Well, that's it for this week's show. Make sure you tune in next week for highlights from home games with Delta State and Christian Brothers. We'll also talk to Flames basketball player Chad Lee. And we'll get highlights from the National Christian College champion men's and women's golf teams. Tweet us at Inside Lee B-Ball for updates throughout the week. For Coach Marty Rowe, Coach Tommy Brown, I'm Jeff Salyer. We'll see you next week.
Stop hunting. Start finding. Choose the AT&T Real Yellow Pages to find just what you need. No other book has more complete ads and up-to-date listings.
Fazoli's is the most family-friendly Italian restaurant in town. All of the fresh and flavorful meals are served right at your table on real dishes with real silverware instead of foam or plastic. Enjoy a clean, contemporary dining room and the excellent service you would normally expect from an expensive sit-down restaurant. For less than the price of a burger and fries, you can get a delicious hot meal like baked spaghetti, pizza, and all the breadsticks you can eat. It's fast, fresh Italian. It's Fazoli's.